welcome back. Hope you're having a good day. This is my rabbit's foot acacia. I have been wanting to do a little maintenance work to it for a little while, but my understanding is that it blooms after any kind of a fresh flush of leaves. I've been kind of waiting on that to happen, and it finally did. And that should give you a little bit of a closer look at that bloom there. You can see why they call it a rabbit's foot. It actually did bloom a couple days ago. It only lasted about a day and a half or so. I had something to do that day and I just didn't get to it. I wasn't sure how long it would last. I got home, it actually thunderstormed. I got home, it was kind of beat up, and then the next morning it was just dried up like that. This morning this thing bloomed here. I figured I'd better do a video on it. I'm guessing by tomorrow afternoon it'll pretty much be gone. I did get this last fall. I think I put it in the video of Christmas presents to myself, or maybe it was my shopping trip before that. But as I've been looking at it, I mean, you can see where the nursery, the bark is very furrowed looking in that it appears like it has some age, but it is very slender. They made a chop here at some point, and then they actually made this chop here, which has this now upward movement going that way. And then as it rises up here, it gets into, there's a bar branch here, and of course, if I'm looking at it like this is, kind of a front that I could think about with an open front of the trunk, and then as it kind of gets up in the apex and everything. But, either way, when you look at it, these two branches right here are right across from each other. So I was going to take, this one's kind of short. I want to actually take it, I want to make enough cuts to perhaps induce a little back budding down here on the trunk a bit. I want to be careful with what I'm doing. This one was the bar branch, the one I just cut off. It's got 4 sub branches coming off of it. 2 of them are going straight up, so I'm going to take the 2 that are going straight up off. This one's definitely going to be a clip and grow for me. This thing's got thorns, very, very small, very hard to see. I guess my sweet acacia is the same way, and I have tried to wire that up, but that was, I'm not doing that anymore. It's a little bit too much work. Not work, just a little bit too much pain. And I think at one point, that strong growth coming this way in those 4 sub-branches, that was kind of almost trying to be the new apex. Then it kind of took off up this way. And that one is then going straight up there. And then that leaves me with just the branch, the little bloom on it there. And I think that's all the major cuts I'm gonna make today. And then what I'm gonna do, I was just trying to show, and I did give you another little look at the bloom there, but you have the branch, the leaf coming off this way, the leaf coming off this way, the leaf coming off this way, and the leaf coming off this way. So if I was to cut between the 2 nodes here, more than likely, that new branch would continue off that way. If I was to cut between the 2 nodes there, more than likely the branch would come off that way. I use this kind of pruning for rain trees, any one of the ones with the compound leaves. Again, it works with almost anything, but it becomes very clear to see on these trees with the compound leaves. All right, and so what I'm gonna do is basically both of these, or I should just say all 3 of these lower branches, I'm gonna cut the tips off. But since each one of these is kind of growing, either on top of itself, or this one over here has 2 branches, I cut this one so that hopefully it'll grow away from the other branch here. And then when I come over here to cut this one, I'm gonna go ahead and actually cut that whole sprout off there. It had another sprout coming down here, and I'll just leave that. That's already kind of heading out the other way there. And then that one with the leaf pointing that way. And maybe leave this one just a little bit longer with the leaf pointing off the other way. May think about a guy wire on that one. This one has 2 sub branches. See if I can't keep them just kind of growing away from each other there. Going straight up. This one sticking straight up there, bothering me just a little bit. Up here, I thought about chopping that right there just to kind of let it regrow an apex. I don't want to leave that as the apex there, but I'm going to just take the tip of it off. Again, trying to induce some back budding. And then these two branches here. All right, and then the last thing I'll do, it's a nice thing about these bolt pans, just pop the hole there. Got a little chunk of used wire. Didn't like the way that one was sticking up a little bit more, especially considering that is the lowest branch. That'll be about it for the day for this guy. Kind of neaten it up a little bit.